Hey, what's up, folks? Blitzball Champ is back. Brand new video here for you on the U to the Tube. Right here, right now. So, it's been a while since I've done some Carolina Panthers talk, so came across a few things that sparked my interest to kind of chat about and also get y'all's thoughts on as well. So, ESPN's David Newton um, wrote out an article about Carolina Panthers free agency overview and what upgrades are needed, which specifically pointed out quarterback and offensive line. And I'll put a link in the description box to this ESPN link so y'all can check it out and see for yourselves. I'm going to pretty much use this as a reference for this video tonight. But before I get into that, first, I want to start out by talking about Thomas Davis Sr. That's right. Y'all heard the news? He signed a one-day contract with the Carolina Panthers, and on March 11th, he will officially retire as a Carolina Panther. Oh, man. I am definitely proud that I got a chance to see Thomas Davis in action through going to two live games, two live Carolina Panther home games. One of them was during the season, 2015 season, that they went to the Super Bowl. So got a chance to see Thomas Davis in action in person. Dude was an excellent linebacker and really complimented to Luke Kuechly very, very well. I mean, having those two on the field, they were like very competitive. And, you know, as much as we talk about Luke Kuechly being a tackling machine, so is Thomas Davis. So, but yeah, he's had quite a career, even coming back from 3 ACL injuries and able to continue his career. Wow, that's crazy. I mean, you would think after the second or third one, you'd be done. But this man powered through it, recovered after each one, and kept his career going. And, wow. Wow. And not to mention, it was 3 ACL tears on the same knee. All 3 on the same knee. That's crazy. But hey, you know, God is in the miracle making business. So, as surprising as this is, got to give credit where credit's due. So, I was just really, that's a blessing for him to be able to continue his career for as long as he did, despite those 3 torn ACLs. So, got to give mad kudos to the man for that. But played for the Carolina Panthers from 05 to 2018. He was a first-round draft pick, 14th pick. Of course, he was a Georgia Bulldog. Played 1 year with the Chargers, played 1 year with the Washington team. But, yeah, spent the biggest chunk of his career as a Carolina Panther. So, got a lot of respect for the guy. I mean, he's a class act. Came in originally as a safety, but eventually got moved to linebacker and ended up shining greatly. His overall stats, he's played a total of 199 games, so just one shy of 200. Kind of a bummer. 1,216 tackles, 29 sacks, 18 forced fumbles, 11 fumble recoveries, 13 interceptions, 55 pass deflections, and 1 touchdown, which was off of a fumble recovery. So, I'm sure he'll definitely get into the Hall of Honor for Carolina. 3-time Pro Bowl, He was a first team All Pro, second team All Pro, and was a Walter Payton Man of the Year recipient. So I mean, and he's played in the Super Bowl. So I mean, dude has dude has done well. Dude has done very well, and I mean, I wish him nothing but the best. Nothing but the best. The dude's been a class act. He's been quite a leader on the team. I mean, even before Luke Kuechly, you had Thomas Davis, and the dude did well. The dude did well, and I really hope he enjoys his retirement. He's actually about to turn 38, I think, near the end of this month. But really hope he enjoys retirement, and who knows, maybe bring him back for future coaching position, player scout, or work with the defense. I mean, you never know. You never know. He has that leadership quality, and I think he would do really well. So I don't think this is the last time we'll see him in the NFL in general. But hey, we'll see. We'll see. But thank you. Thank you, Thomas Davis Sr. for an incredible NFL career, especially with Carolina. It was an honor to see you play in person live, and I wish you nothing but the best. So now that I got that out of the way, let's talk about this ESPN article. And we all know that free agency starts March 17th. So let's take a look at what was discussed in this article with each of the positions. So starting with quarterback, we know that Teddy Bridgewater, Will Grier, PJ Walker, and Tommy Stevens is listed as still under contract, no unrestricted free agents. I mean, I think it's safe to say we all pretty much know that Carolina is in the hunt for a new quarterback. Now, things have been kind of quiet as far as this whole thing with Deshaun Watson. That's still up in the air. And it's also very possible that Carolina could draft a quarterback in the upcoming draft this April. I mean, I know a lot of folks, would like to see Zach Wilson, Trey Lance. It's even suggested here potentially Mac Jones. So, I mean, we'll have to see what's available at the 8th pick. And it also is possible Panthers could trade up to get a little further up in the draft. But, I mean, it sounds like most likely they're going to move on from Teddy Bridgewater in some form or fashion. So, I mean, if they're still gunning high for Deshaun Watson, word is that they don't want Teddy Bridgewater. So anything involving him in the trade package is probably just not going to work for Houston. And there were even words about the 49ers potentially interested in Teddy Bridgewater, but I don't know. But fact of the matter is, there's still a lot up in the air as far as, is Deshaun Watson even going to be available? I mean, he has that no trade clause. I mean, they could easily just not trade him, period. And Deshaun Watson may just flat out sit out for an entire season in Houston. I mean, they still got to pull the trigger and give the green light for him to be traded. Otherwise, we can forget about it. So, and he's already going to be expensive anyway. Putting a whole lot of eggs in a basket for one player. I mean, could either work out or it could bomb badly. But it's like I said before in previous video, 3 seasons. This happens, 3 seasons. That's all I'm gonna give it. Next, running back situation. Of course, we know Christian McCaffrey and Rodney Smith are currently under contract. Unrestricted free agents listed are Mike Davis and the fullback, Alex Arma. I mean, my thing with this, Mike Evans had a decent season covering for Christian McCaffrey. So, I mean, if he were to stay, he's probably going to want to get paid. And I don't know. I don't know about that. And then maybe, with Alex Arma, I mean, he's been their main fullback for a number of years now. Is very familiar with the system. So I don't know. I mean, they say in this article that a player such as former Michigan back Chris Evans could be a good fit because of how he impressed at the Senior Bowl. But I don't know. I mean, if they have interest in keeping Mike Davis, it's really going to depend on how much he wants. But I would think with how decent of a season he had in Carolina, I'm sure he's going to want a little bit more money. So we'll see what happens with that. But they definitely got to get some depth, some good depth behind Christian McCaffrey. And, we hope that Christian McCaffrey can bounce back in this new season and really be healthy again. I mean, this was his one injury-plagued season. So hopefully he'll be able to bounce back. But they definitely are going to need some depth behind him. Next up, wide receiver. Currently under contract, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Amara Darboh, Ventel Bryant, Omar Bayless, Markin Mitchell, and Ishmael Hyman. Unrestricted free agents are Curtis Samuel and Pharaoh Cooper. So at least we know that DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, are still there. You had your 2 wide receivers that went over 1,000 yards receiving. So, those 2 are going to be there. I mean, this article makes a pretty good point. It mentions how, you still have restricted free agents in Brandon Zylstra and Keith Kirkwood, which I think it was already said that I think they extended or re-signed Keith Kirkwood. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they re-signed him to a 1-year deal. Not sure about Brandon Zylstra, but I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. I personally like Curtis Samuel. I would love to keep him, but he may be who they have to sacrifice in order to have enough room to potentially re-sign Taylor Moton, which has definitely been a goal for Carolina to be able to do. Is either re-sign him or franchise tag him and hopefully work something out. It would be really, really unfortunate for the team to miss out on Taylor Moton. But I honestly, deep down, with us still having Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore, as much as I love Curtis Samuel, I mean, there will be potential replacements, whether through the draft or through free agency. So, realistically, I'm not too worried about the wide receiving core. I mean, you keep Robbie, you keep DJ. I mean, you got a dual threat there. And just, maybe look to the draft for another downfield threat, or maybe, somebody with some height. Because right now I believe Robbie Anderson is the tallest receiver on that team currently. But I mean, I'm not really that worried about wide receiver. But maybe they can find a nice little boost in free agency or in the draft. You know, so we'll have to see who can really step up. Just in case if we don't have Curtis Samuel, because I don't know. It's looking like it's unlikely that they'll be able to bring him back, but we'll see. Next up, we got tight end. Currently under contract, Ian Thomas, Stephen Sullivan, Giovanni Ricci, Colin Thompson, who's an exclusive rights free agent, and unrestricted free agent is Chris Manhertz. Now, they mention in here, David Newton mentions in here that um, maybe time to let go of Ian Thomas because he hasn't really been the go-to receiver and fulfilled his potential. Um, and Manhertz is the blocking tight end, so I mean, it's going to depend on a few things. I mean, one of the things that has apparently been talked about a little bit is maybe Carolina using the eighth pick on Kyle Pitts, which honestly I don't believe is a good idea because I just tight end is just not the top priority. It's just not the top priority. I mean, it is a priority, but it's not the top one. And I just feel like I mean, I hear a lot of talk about Kyle Pitts, but I mean, I would only consider him if he was like the best option at 8, but I just don't think he'll be Carolina's best option at 8. And then there is also the potential of Carolina going after Hunter Henry in free agency. Is coming from the Chargers. But I mean, I really feel like they could go for a tight end in free agency. I mean, I'm not to look down on Kyle Pitts, but just overall, tight end is just not at the top of the priority list. It's really not. And not to mention, with Joe Brady as the offensive coordinator, I mean, you already don't see a lot of the tight ends being used in the receiving game. So, I mean, I don't know. Chris Manhertz just seems a lot more useful in the run game and just, with blocking than really in the passing game. But I don't know. That could always change. That could always change. I mean, they already need to make some adjustments to the play calling and offense anyways, even under Joe Brady. So we'll see what happens. That could change. Next, offensive line. Okay. Currently under contract, Matt Paradis, Greg Little, Dennis Daly, Matt Kasky, Sam Tecklenburg, Mike Horton, Aaron Monteiro. The unrestricted free agents, John Miller, Taylor Moton, Russell Okung, Tyler Larson, Chris Reed, Michael Schofield. Okay. Now, in this list, as the article says, Matt Paradis is the only starting lineman under contract, which he's the starting center. They did sign Trent Scott, who is pretty much a backup, but is I think he started a few games. A big thing next to re-signing Taylor Moton or franchising him is getting a left tackle. That's going to be big, and they mention it in this article. Getting a left tackle, either in free agency or through the draft. I know we have Greg Little, but the dude cannot stay healthy. And I had a lot of high hopes for Greg Little when he finally got to start playing, but the dude cannot stay healthy. He can't stay healthy. So, and then Russell Okung, I mean, he can't stay healthy either. So, yeah, this team is going to have to really dig deep and get a suitable left tackle. Um, I believe some of the folks had mentioned or trying to go after, I think it was Orlando Brown Jr., I think from the Ravens or something like that, that they should go after. But this offensive line definitely needs some retooling. And because really on those listed under contract, besides Matt Paradis, Dennis Daly is really the only one I could see maybe worth keeping. But, next to Taylor Moton, I mean, I like Tyler Larson. He was a good back. He does well as a good backup center. Who he has that experience. But yeah, this is going to be a big, big, ginormous, Godzilla-size rebuilding project for Carolina. This offensive line, this team needs to go hard on this offensive line, whether it's through the draft or through free agency. This offensive line really seriously needs to be patched up. Because regardless of whether we have Bridgewater or Deshaun Watson or the best quarterback in the league, if they don't have a good, consistent offensive line, it won't matter. It'll be the Super Bowl all over again. Look what happened to Patrick Mahomes. He was running for his life all game. So, honestly, this really should be number one priority, even more than quarterback. This offensive line should be number one priority in this offseason. Quarterback maybe second, but yeah. Next up, defensive end. Currently under contract, Brian Burns, Yotura Gross Matos, Austin Larkin, with no unrestricted free agents. So they let go of Stephen Weatherly to clear up cap space. They might re-sign and keep Effie Obata. I think he'd be good for depth. But hopefully they can get somebody else added to that list for depth as well. But I think when YGM was on that field, when he's healthy, he's done some damage, and had an okay first year, and I think he'll improve. I definitely think he'll improve, and having young guys like him and Brian Burns on the opposite ends, I think you could work with that. I think you could work with that and really build on that. But yeah, I'd like to see Effie Obata. I wouldn't mind them keeping him. He can play some outside, and he can play inside a little bit. But I think they should go after another defensive end. Maybe another edge rusher, and really stack the defensive end position and really get some depth. So I'm hoping that they do that. Defensive tackle. So currently under contract, we got Zach Kerr, Bravion Roy, Mike Panasuik, and Derek Brown. With no unrestricted free agents. Of course, big change that happened was the release of K1 Short to clear up cap space. I like Bravion Roy and I like Zach Kerr. And Derek Brown has shown, later in the season that he can be a threat. And this article suggests that Panthers want to run more four-man fronts and may take adding another defensive tackle to play next to Derek Brown. Of course, the original hope was K1 Short would come back healthy and him and Derek Brown would be the tough inside threats. But KK didn't do so well. got injured again and just has not been able to bounce back. So I agree with them. I think getting a solid defensive tackle um, to start next to Derek Brown, I think would really help. They got some decent depth with Zach Kerr and Bravion Roy. I think that's some decent depth that they can work with. But I think really getting another strong DT that can really disrupt some things, I think that could work well with a young Derek Brown. I think they would have a killer defensive line. I really do. Linebacker. Okay, this is a doozy. So under contract, Shaq Thompson, Marquise Haynes, Jermaine Carter, Christian Miller, Sam Franklin Jr., Chris Orr, Jordan Mack, Clay Johnson, Daniel Bituli. And then unrestricted free agents, we got Julian Stanford, Adarius Taylor, and Tahir Whitehead. Okay, I think we can all agree on that. Tahir Whitehead, out of here. He did not live up to his potential, and he just bombed badly at middle linebacker position this past season. So definitely see him gone. Um, they mentioned that Jermaine Carter did get some praise late in the season. He started to show some flair. Um, and I know they've had Jeremy Chin working at that linebacker spot, one of the linebacker spots. But it sounds like they are trying to push for the opportunity to move Jeremy Chin to the safety position. So I really feel like might want to really consider drafting for a linebacker. If they can't get one in free agency, might have to see who's up for linebacker in the draft. I mean, I know Michael Parsons was mentioned. Not sure if he'll be available by pick 8, but if he is, might be something to consider. I mean, they've been wanting to find a Luke Kuechly replacement, and just Tahir Whitehead was definitely not that. And Shaq Thompson just is not at that level yet where he is considered a leader and a big threat on that linebacking core. He can't do it on his own. He's not there yet. So, we have to see what happens. Marquise Haynes has shown a little bit of flair. Christian Miller, he'll be returning. He's got some edge rushing background. But might really want to consider drafting for maybe specifically a middle linebacker, or just really because the linebacking core really needs to get finessed, and if possible, in doing that you can be able to move Jeremy Chin to safety. Not saying that he can't play linebacker. They can mix the packages up, but think they're hoping to be able to move Chin to safety in a more permanent role. But we'll see what happens. Cornerback. Currently under contract. Dante Jackson, Troy Pride Jr., Stanley Thomas Oliver, Miles Hartsfield. And unrestricted free agency, Rasul Douglas and Corn Elder. Whew. Full of young guys. Me personally, I really would love a veteran presence in this cornerback, in this secondary core. Like, I just, and James Bradbury was the closest thing they had, but he's not there. And Dante Jackson, little by little, he's improving, but he can't do it alone. And I don't think he's ready to be that leader yet. I don't think he's ready. He'll get there. I think he'll get there, but he's not there yet. This article is suggesting that if the price is right, maybe re-signing Rasul Douglas, who started off well, but then kind of struggled late in the season. So, um, I mean, may consider looking into the draft for that cornerback. I mean, a lot of people are talking about Patrick Surtain. So, if he's available, may have to pull the trigger. He's been told as one of the top shutdown corners coming out of the draft. So that might be where you fulfill that role. I don't know who else at cornerback would really be available, but definitely this cornerback just needs a shutdown like that can play man. I personally want some veteran experience, but if they can't do that, they can get a shutdown corner in the draft. Great. Um, but Troy Pride Jr. has a lot to learn, and I do kind of like Stanley Thomas Oliver. I saw a few flashes from him, and I think given more time, I think he'll improve. But yeah, the secondary, especially the cornerbacks, really Dante Jackson needs some help. He needs some help on opposite ends, and just really they need to really look at the cornerbacks very very carefully. Um, Safety. So under contract, we got Justin Burris, Jeremy Chin, Sean Chandler, Kenny Robinson. No unrestricted free agents. Um, so of course Carolina let go of Trey Boston to clear up some more cap space. Um, I mean, you have Burris who has started at safety. So I mean, it sounds like the ideal thing that might end up happening is the two safeties starting will be Jeremy Chin and Justin Burris, perhaps. Um, but it would be good to add some depth. Kenny Robinson didn't really get a chance to play much, and I know he was drafted last season, so we'll have to see how his health looks, see if he can potentially contribute. But they're going to need some depth at safety, especially after letting Trey Boston go. So it would really be good to get some depth there. So we'll see what happens with that. But I think the idea on paper right now is probably Justin Burris and Jeremy Chin as the starting safeties. And then special teams, currently under contract, the two kickers, Joey Sly and Lirim Harulahu. I don't even know if I said that correctly. And punter Joseph Charlton, with unrestricted free agent long snapper J.J. Jansen. I mean, they ended up releasing Michael Pilardi, which was a bummer because, when he was healthy, he was a great punter. But Joseph Charlton looks like that's the man they're going to go with, so they're keeping him. They did sign an extension to Joey Sly, 1 year. Um, I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about that because I mean he didn't have a great. He had like well, between a mediocre and average season. Nothing to brag about. He's no Graham Gano. He's no John Casey. But I mean, Sly did what he could. But I assume that he will have some competition, and this Larim guy might be that competition. But if anything, I am kind of regretting us not keeping Harrison Butker. I mean, you saw what happened with that. Ended up going to the Chiefs, and you know what happened with that. Um, but I mean, it's looking like on paper for now, Joseph Charlton is going to be the main punter. Joey Sly, is going to be the main kicker, but there will be some competition. And then with J.J. Jansen, I mean, he's been the long snapper for the team, for ever. So, yeah, re-sign him. Re-sign him. Why not? He's consistent. He's been with the team for a long time. Re-sign him. Bring him back. I'm cool with it. J.J. Jansen, yeah. Bring him back. But, yeah. That's pretty much all I have. Like I said, I'll put the link to this article in the description. And what do y'all think? Like I said, this emphasized the importance of offensive line and quarterback. If you ask me personally, I feel like the priorities: offensive line, quarterback. I would say linebacker. I would say secondary, D line, and then tight end. Tight end would be at the bottom. Tight end would definitely be at the bottom. Running backs, like I said, I mean, I feel like we'll be able to get some depth behind Christian McCaffrey. Same thing with wide receivers. I'm not really that worried about the wide receiving core. So I think Curtis Samuel can definitely be replaced. But yeah, O-line, quarterback, linebacker, especially that middle linebacker spot. The secondary, especially cornerback wise. The D-line, get some depth there. And tight end for me would be lowest priority. That'd be lowest priority. That'd be at the bottom for me. But anyway, let me know what y'all's thoughts are. Like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell so you don't miss a video. Thank you for watching. This is Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram signing off. Hope everybody has a blessed week, and I will see y'all soon. Laters.